Hey there, Beth from scrappingwonders.com, and I'm up with our next installment of the collaboration with Sarah Scraps for Stencil Play. And this week we decided to pair our stencils with acrylic paint. I could have very easily used my stencils and created a background, but I just wanted to play this week. So I got out my jelly plate and I picked some colors, some acrylic paint. I have learned with jelly printing that it's best to use acrylic paint that is not a heavy body acrylic paint. So the acrylic paints that I used for this are not heavy body, meaning that they're not very thick paints. They're lighter. I don't know how else to explain it, but they're more liquidy. And one of the paints that I used was also a distress paint, and the distress paint works best when paired with another acrylic paint, and it tends to beat up a little bit on the jelly plate. So because of that, I did tend to pair that up with another type of acrylic paint. Now, I do quite a bit of jelly printing, and if you want to go ahead and skip past this part, you're more than welcome. But I did want to leave it in just in case other people were interested in seeing my jelly printing plate process. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and play some music for you, because all I do during this part is some jelly printing, and then I will come back. Okay, I am back, and what I'm doing is punching out 2-inch circles with my 2-inch punch from all of the jelly prints that I made. And all I can say is I am super happy with the way they turned out, the colors that I picked, and I love the pop of orange that I ended up getting with them. And it seems to have turned out exactly how I thought it was going to turn out in my mind. And you all know that doesn't always happen in scrapbooking. It doesn't always turn out the way that you pictured it in your mind. But I got lucky, and it did. So here I am. I went and grabbed a sheet of dark black, not black, dark gray cardstock. So my cardstock is gray, and I picked gray because I wanted it to pop off of the page. And then you can see I'm just putting my jelly plate back in its container that it came in. And then I just literally play around with the circles and arrange them how I think they're going to look best. And you can see that the orange I'm using as a pop of color. So the orange jelly, it's a neon orange that I used for my jelly plate, and it's meant as a pop. It's not meant as, otherwise it would be way too overpowering because it's such a bright orange. And then I have this jelly print that is whiter than the other ones, and I felt that I needed more of another color going on in there because I felt that the blue started overpowering everything. And then this jelly print had more of that light gold color that I used from that Martha Stewart paint, and so I punched out the rest of that. In the end, like I said, I am super happy with the way this turned out. I did painstakingly glue these down. The best way that I found to do it was to just kind of lift up circles here and there and then lay them back down, so then it ended up gluing whatever was underneath together, and then I just kind of ended up with like one big blob, and that worked out perfectly. So I'm gonna go ahead and adhere these down, and the next thing you're gonna see is them all done. Then I needed something over here just kind of, you know, it was very heavy on that left side now with the photos and the circles and whatnot. So I added 2 of these circles down here. My black and white photo, I put a small piece of the blue, all blue jelly print behind it and then popped it up on foam. And then the color photo, as you can see, I just stuck it there. And trimming off these circles here. And that's pretty much it. I used my Cricut to cut out the title, which you're going to see in a second here. I was just making sure those circles were adhered. And my title is just 1 year older. So I brought this part in just so you could see that I did use my Cricut, and I used a 6x6 paper pad, but I used several of them. I can't even tell you which ones. I just picked from my drawer and flipped through pads until I found 4 sheets of paper that made me happy with the layout. And in the end, I'm super happy with the way the title came out, and it worked perfectly. Even here, I glued this part of the 1 year older. I glued it on, and excuse me for the yawn. It was a little haphazard. It was a little off. And in the end, I think that made it have even more character. So what I'm doing is I'm fiddling with it because I'm like, oh no, it glued funky, and oh well, I'm just gonna leave it kind of thing. But because it glued funky, I was like, let me make sure that this part doesn't glue funky, so I used my mono adhesive glue. And that's pretty much it for this layout. I really hope that you're enjoying our stencil play collaboration. Please give this video a thumbs up below and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any other of our videos for stencil play. Bye!